Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story TV and the Her Story podcast. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating young woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. As you all know, the Her Story Circle is a social impact movement where we look for inspiring stories from women, from young girls, from all over the world to uplift, inspire, and energize. So, welcome to our tribe. We're really looking forward to learning more about you. So, tell us exactly where you are, tell us how old you are, and share your story with us today.
Hello everyone, my name is Faatiha Aayat. I am 11 years old. I am a rising 7th grader at IS 230, the Baghdad School for Civics in the Community. I am from Bangladesh, but I live in New York, USA, and I am currently the CEO and founder of Child and D. I am also a climate campaigner and child rights activist. I am extremely honored to be speaking here today, and I am really looking forward to sharing my story with you. So, as I start, I just want to say how I started my journey as a climate campaigner. So, it basically all started in 2019 when I went to Alaska with my family. Basically, we were on this family trip to Alaska, and when I was in Alaska, we had multiple events that we went to. I know that one of the most remarkable events or remarkable moments during that Alaska trip was when we went on a cruise ship to see the icebergs and the glaciers. And basically, on that cruise ship, I saw the icebergs up close. And I remember that I saw icebergs actually falling from the glaciers. Now, I am from Bangladesh, and I know that Bangladesh is a low level land. So, thinking about the rate that the icebergs were falling, I thought, well, eventually Bangladesh and other low level lands would get submerged. So I feel like that was the main starting point, the main moment of realization for me, because I thought that, okay, I always listen to the news at home, right? My dad always played the news for me when I went to school. My mom always played the news at home. And so I always heard about these climate catastrophes and how these climate catastrophes are affecting people. And so actually seeing that up close and that moment of realization on that cruise ship really sparked something in me. And I thought that I can't just be a passive observer. I actually have to be an active advocate. I actually have to start doing something. I can't just sit around. I actually have to make my voice heard because me personally, I think that every voice matters. Even if we can make a small difference, each one of us, I feel like as we come together, it will make a huge impact on the world. So that's why I thought that, why not I raise my voice as well? So that's basically how my journey started. Then I actually went to the International Girl Child's Day during my birthday, 2019, same year. And I met Miss Maria Monsef there at the United Nations headquarters. And I heard her speak there. And, she was really a motivation for me. She is still a huge role model for me. I talked to her after her speech, and I told her, about how much I cared for the environment. I was only 7 years old then, so she was really surprised, to see such. I was only 7 then, so she was really surprised to see that I actually, cared about the environment, and I knew what climate change was and how much it was affecting the world. So she told me that my power would be my voice, and that if I wanted, I could actually speak out, and United Nations would be a huge platform for me. And I feel like actually hearing those words from her, really motivated me. And I thought that, okay, well, if she thinks I can make a difference, and if I think that I have a part in this, then why not I actually start speaking, right? I mean, at home, I always got support from my parents and from my family. But I think really after hearing that from Maria Monsef is the former Canadian State Minister for Women Affairs. Now she currently runs her own organization. She works at Onward. But actually hearing that from her, really motivated me. So I started speaking out at the United Nations. My first speech at the United Nations was on refugees in Bangladesh, the Rohingya refugees, and about their crisis. And I think after that first event, I started speaking out at more United Nations and more at the United Nations and more programs such as, the United Nations and other big platforms. And eventually I created my own organization named Chilandi. So Chilandi basically stands for Climate, Health, Information, Learning, and Development. And so I created this, or I'm the founder of this organization. Currently, it's just me in this organization. However, with Child and D, I have made partnerships with other stakeholders and other organizations in this climate community. And to name a few, I am currently working with UNDP, Safe Women of Bangladesh, Umbrella Youth Foundation, Pure Earth, Let's Do It World from Estonia, many other organizations like this. And to name a few campaigns with UNDP, we have organized several campaigns in the past, and we are still working on some now. With UNDP, we have one of our past campaigns that I think was really successful was the Waste in My Bag campaign. Basically, the main message of Waste in My Bag was to say that, let's stop littering and put your own trash in your own bag when you find a disposable trash can or bin, then put it in the correct bin. Recycling, trash, and biodegradable. Basically, stop littering. That was the main message. And I think that uh, actually when I created I created the promotional video, and I also said that I also spread the word. I think when I actually saw the result that the Waste in My Bag campaign created, that also really struck me to think that, oh my gosh, so many people are actually listening to what we have to say, right? So that Waste in My Bag campaign was really successful. We also, with UNDP, Child and D has also participated in the Flip the Script campaign, which is basically change your perspectives, right? Think about, instead of just sitting here and, seeing all these other climate campaigners talk, how can we, as normal citizens, or as, how can how can I actually be a part and have a stance in this climate conversation? And currently, we are working on a lot of other campaigns with UNDP. With Safe Women of Bangladesh, we have organized campaigns such as the cybersecurity campaign, which was basically a quiz that let people know, and especially people in Bangladesh, know about how they can stay safe online, about their, cybersecurity, and what we should and should not do online. And this was basically for youth and children. And I saw a lot of fantastic results from this one campaign. So that really that really struck me. And I was really happy to see that. With Umbrella Youth Foundation, we have awarded individuals who have planted more than 100 million trees in Bangladesh. There were individuals and there were also groups who worked together to actually reach this amazing part, right? And basically, when they planted 100 million trees, we awarded these individuals, for their outstanding efforts. We are also currently working on another campaign with Umbrella Youth Foundation. With Let's Do It World, Chalandi has taken part in the World Cleanup Day. This World Cleanup Day is basically a massive movement where one particular day, people from all around the world, I know we have more than 600 volunteers, and multiple countries in the world always take part in this World Cleanup Day. And so basically everyone comes together on this one day to clean up the beaches, their parks, their community, just locally. And at the end, I saw personally, like up front, how massive the result was. And so that also really made me happy. So I feel like these campaigns, and these partner organizations that Child ND has are definitely really successful. And we're currently working on a lot of other things. Me personally, from the point that I am in right now, I can't actually go out on the field and actually do most of the work that these partner organizations are doing. I have done some things in the field, but again, to actually see the change or to actually make the change, in on the field, that's something that unfortunately I don't have the opportunity to do. So that's why these partner organizations are one way that I, as a part, I actually work on the field to say that, okay, Child ND is supporting these organizations. And as the founder and CEO of Child ND, I am honored to be supporting these organizations that actually make a difference in the world and that actually, are changing these communities day by day. And so this is basically what Child ND is all about, to actually create the change, or to actually be part of creating the change. And if I were to talk a little bit about my, platforms, about my different speeches, I've spoken at the United Nations, at Harvard University, at Columbia University, at Georgia Tech, at a lot of other platforms. And I think that speaking out at platforms is really important because while, okay, yes, working on the field is important, I feel like some people appreciate it more if they're really told about what to do. Because I know some people have even come up to me asking that, Faatiha, what can I do, as just a person who in this climate community and who's involved or who is interested in making a difference, what can I do? And so I think that people have told me that my voice is my power, and so they think that actually me speaking out in these platforms is really helpful and beneficial to people who are actually looking for a way to start, actually to start making a difference. And so this is why I raise my voice in these platforms, and in these huge platforms, to say that this is how we can start, this is what's actually going on. I basically try to raise awareness, saying that this is what's going on. And I know that we've heard a lot about climate catastrophes and climate change and global warming and all these other terms, but what does it actually mean, and how can we actually start? So this is my story, and this is what I want you all to know. And I think that one way, because I know a lot of people have asked me, how can I start? I think one way that you can start is just working in your community. I think that every person can make a difference, even if it's by a little bit. When we all come together, it will have a massive impact. So I would just encourage all of you to, to start working in your community. Even if you can't speak out in these huge platforms like I do, honestly, just start working in your community, because eventually you will make a difference. So thank you.
What an incredible journey you've been on. It's just amazing to see what can happen when somebody sees a problem, decides to do something about it, and just steps up. Now, a lot of people hold back because they are scared. One, they're scared of failure, they're unsure whether their activism work is going to work out. If there was another young person who's listening to this interview right now, who's seen something in their environment they're not happy about and they want to do something, but they feel fearful, What three nuggets of wisdom could you give them right now?
Okay, so like you said, if someone's saying that they're scared of failure or scared of the outcomes that might happen or the consequences that might occur, I honestly think that it doesn't really hurt to try. When I first started, I thought that who would listen to a seven, because I was seven then, I thought who would listen to a 7-year old, right? Who would actually think that the 7 years old voice actually matters? And yet, I have had uh, so many positive results. So many people come up to me and actually saying that, thank you for actually doing the work and for contributing for contributing and for speaking out. So I honestly think it doesn't hurt to try. Don't be scared of failing, because honestly, in this climate world, I feel like everybody makes mistakes at one point or another. So honestly, don't be scared. Nothing, honestly, nothing bad will, I don't think anything that bad will happen. So just if you're really passionate about something, then like I said, start small and then build onto your journey, right? Start small in your community, among your peers, your family, the people who you think that actually might want to listen. And even if they don't want to listen, people who you think that will actually listen to you, um, and their perspectives will be open, and they will be open minded. Just start small and then build on your journey,
I love that. Yeah, you just have to take the first step, right?
right?
Okay, so one of the things about climate change is that it's going to impact all of us, and we're already seeing the global effects of climate change right across the globe.
Right.
Now, we talk about people planting trees. You talk about how you felt affected because of coming from Bangladesh. Put that into perspective for people who don't really understand the impact.
So I'm gonna give an example of a young girl from Bangladesh. Um, Basically, and I'm not gonna say her name right now, but basically, she reached out to me and she said that recently my village, she lives in a coastal village in Bangladesh, my she said my village was flooded, and so now I am displaced. I currently have nowhere to go. Me and my family are just walking around. This is one girl from Bangladesh, and if her family is suffering so much, just imagine, you know, what happens to the millions and millions of people each year who are affected by these climate catastrophes. And when I say affected, I mean, they're displaced. All their property is taken from them. They don't have much money to actually get back on their feet. They don't actually have much to do. They're basically vulnerable, right? So if this one girl who reached out to me is affecting so much, what happened to the entire world? And you're right that this eventually, and this is already affecting all of us. Maybe most of us are privileged, right? We have a roof above our heads. We have food to eat. We have water to drink, safe water, clean water to drink. But what about the people who don't, right? So this is why this is just one example of a girl, and I think that you know sometimes we don't exactly understand. We're saying that, oh yeah, these people are affected, but do we sometimes, even I ask myself that, okay, I speak out in these platforms saying that this girl is affected by climate change, and this is what happened to him, this is what happened to her, we should start working. But actually, do I exactly know what happened? Right? Yeah, I know that, okay, her village was flooded, but how do I actually know exactly how much it affected her, right? Because I will never, well, maybe I, God forbid, if I am ever in her place, but maybe I never will be in her place, right? So how will I actually understand how much this is affecting her and how much this is affecting millions of people around the world?
Yeah, that's very, very true. A lot of us are living in positions of privilege, as you say, um, totally oblivious and unaware of the impact of climate change on communities. And it's already happening, it's already global, but you're probably just not in a country or a situation where you get to experience it. Now, speaking in the United Nations, what did that experience do for you as an activist? Because putting yourself on different platform has got a ripple effect. What was the ripple effect for you?
Okay, so I'm gonna um, recall back to my first United Nations speech. Like I said, I talked and I raised my voice about the Rohingya issue, the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh who are currently seeking shelter in Bangladesh. And I was 7 then, so when I introduced myself, I said, "My name is Faatiha. I'm 7 years old, climate campaigner, child rights activist." Everyone at the United Nations, gave me a standing applause. Um, I think that really surprised me because, like I said, I thought that, okay, who would listen to a 7 year old? But I was really honored, to be standing there among all these important people and where people actually listened to me, so that was really motivational for me. The ripple effect would be that after that one conference, I started speaking out at multiple conferences, right? I had invitation. Well, okay, towards the beginning, there wasn't much of an invitation again, but I whatever opportunity I had, I took to speak out, and eventually I got these invitations, and especially in the last 2 years, in the last year, I started receiving more and more invitations from people saying that, okay, will you speak here and will you speak at this event and that event. That was the ripple effect for me. When people actually saw that others listened to my voice, they wanted me to speak at their platforms. And I think that was the ripple effect. And I think one of the other important things was that before, people were like, oh wow, you were so young, you're speaking out at these important places, but now I feel like it's more of the fact that, wow, you actually care, not the fact that you're young, and now I think people have started to understand that age isn't a factor when you
Yeah.
actually care about something. So I feel like the ripple effect would be these two things: that first of all, these more and more invitations, and second of all, people actually starting to appreciate and not just listen.
I love that. Yeah, age really has nothing to do with it. It's just having the courage to take a stand for something in your environment that you feel needs to be changed. Now, if I could take you into the future, let's imagine that time is an illusion and your past, your present, your future are right here, right now. And I could teleport you into the future. What world would you like to see when you are 100 years old and you're sitting on your couch surrounded by your children and your grandchildren, your dogs or your cats? Tell us the vision that you see for the world at the age of 100.
This is a really cool question, so thank you. Um, my vision for the future. Okay, so my vision for the future is that I honestly don't want to see all these people suffering. Like I said, about the girl whose village was flooded. I honestly don't want to see people suffering because I've said this before. I'm gonna say this again. When I grow up, I want to work for humanity, right? And if I work for humanity, my goal will be to not make people suffer, right? I don't want to see people suffer. So when I am 100, I want to see my perfect world would be where every child, is free from worry about, what they will eat or where they will sleep at night or where they will find where they will find shelter. They're free from these worries. Every child is free from these worries. Um, they are actually surrounded in they're actually in a positive environment. They have good education, and I also want to see a world where these climate catastrophes and climate change isn't really affecting people the way it is now, right? Right now, I honestly think things are out of control, right? Even if we are working, I mean, we can still see the negative impact, all even though we are having such a positive impact. The negative effect of climate change is, it's something that we all have to face. So what my perfect world would be where climate change isn't a huge worry, where we don't have these climate catastrophes, villages aren't flooded, icebergs aren't causing the sea level to rise, deforestation isn't occurring, uh, basically things like this. So my perfect world again would be where no child suffers and where climate change isn't a big factor.
And if you were to have a conversation with the future you, this wise woman who's leading you to that point, what would you say to her based on how you're living your life right now?
Basically, I'd be talking to myself in the future. So I would say that you started small. Again, I was only 7 then. You started small, but now you have finally reached your goal. You are living in your perfect world. This is what all that hard work has come to, and this is what everything, all your work, all your determination, all your setbacks, all the challenges you've faced and all these obstacles, you've gotten over them. Now you live in your perfect world. So congrats.
I love that. You know, the reason why I like to ask that question, especially to younger women,
Yeah.
do you know the reason why I ask it?
No.
It's because that wise woman is already in you. She's already there guiding you. This is why you're doing the work that you're doing. And you
Thank
have to keep trusting yourself and listening to that voice when it tells you to act, it tells you to take action. That is you in the future guiding you there. So
thank
thank you for showing up for us today.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
This is a very, very inspiring story because a lot of young girls, a lot of women, they doubt themselves. They think, oh, who am I to take on this challenge?
Yeah.
What will people think? What if I fail? The fact that you feel it so strongly within you means you have everything you need to make that future world a reality. And that's why you're an activist.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, I have your LinkedIn link scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Is that where people can follow you and support you?
Yeah, so that's for Child and D, my organization. Uh, I also have my own account on LinkedIn. Yeah.
So, which one do you want me to share?
Uh,
Your LinkedIn account?
yeah.
Okay,
Just
let's
Faatiha.
put that up so that if anybody out there would like to support, do you look for volunteers? Tell us what kind of support you're looking for right now in all of your projects.
Honestly, I'm just looking for more partnerships to be a part of. And if you want to join my organization, then definitely share, because I mean, I could really use the help. But honestly, right now, I'm just looking for other programs to be part of, other stakeholders who want to join me in my climate activism, and other people who want to make collaborations.
Fantastic. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is attracting some phenomenal young women, young girls who are out there standing for us in the future. Come back again tomorrow when I interview yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And thanks again for the interview. Bye for now, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.